for New Year's Day. Just for
They had the bite right now. They didn't have the bite earlier. So they're
Because I remember having to like slow everybody down. Just do it. Nominate. Motion. Just the table time. Yeah, okay.
I did that one.
It's just amongst the three. Yeah.
Okay, folks, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting to order, and the first order of business is to elect a temporary chairperson until a permanent appointment is made.
I move to nominate Rob, our attorney, as temporary chair and secretary.
I'll second the motion.
Do we need to have any discussion, any public comment on that? Seeing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we're going to turn the meeting over to you, Rob?
Thank you. At this time, I'll open up the floor for nominations for chairperson for West Vincent Township Board of Supervisors.
I nominate John Jacobs as chairperson.
I'll second the motion.
Just nominations this time. Any other nominations? Seeing
Oh,
none.
I'm sorry.
At this time, I'll close the floor. Is there a motion on the table?
I already did that.
Oh, you gotta make a motion after the nomination.
Oh, I move to have John Jacobs as chairperson.
I'll second that motion.
Public comment? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Chair. It's now your meeting.
The second order of business is to elect a temporary secretary until a permanent secretary is appointed. Do I have a nomination?
We did both of those already.
We did them together?
Yeah, we're already on.
Sorry about that. And we're at number 5?
Number 4.
Motion to elect vice chairperson. Of course, that's mine.
Did you?
I was appointed as both temporary chair and secretary.
But I didn't hear Kathy get nominated.
We're not up to the permanent secretary yet.
Oh, okay, so you take minutes until she gets
A little bit
elected.
already.
Yeah.
Do I have a nomination for
I'd like
vice
to
chair?
make my nomination to elect Mike Snyder, vice chair.
I'll second it. Any comment from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, next we're going to do a motion to adopt the 2019 appointments as, committee appointments as follows. You want to read these, Mike?
Reappointment of Kathy Sheehan as township secretary. Reappointment of Michelle Hogulis as township's treasurer. Appointment of Julie Foster as planning commission for a 4-year term expiring 12/31/2022. Appointment of Joseph Casey to the planning commission for a 1-year term to expire 12/31/2019. Reappointment of Ted Rodney for a 4-year term to expire 12/31/2022. Appointment of Barbara Muir and Carrie Levin to the Environmental Advisory Committee, both for a 3-year term to expire 12/31/2021. Reappointment of Suzanne Roth for a 3-year term to expire 12/31/2021. Appointment of Barbara Van Horn to the Open Space Advisory Committee for a 5-year term to expire 12/31/2023. Appointment of Environmental Advisory Committee member and Planning Commission member to be announced. Reappointment of Marilyn Hemstreet to the Zoning Hearing Board for a 5-year term to expire 12/31/2023. Appointment of Suzanne Nastas to the Parks and Rec Commission for a 5-year term to expire 12/31/2023. Reappointment of David Weber and Yvonne Evans Brownlee to the Sustainability Committee, both for a 4-year term to expire on 12/31/2022. Appointment to the Historic Commission of Jim Helm to a 1-year term to expire 12/31/2019. Kate Farnham to a 2-year term to expire on 12/31/2020. Robert Wise to a 3-year term to expire on 12/31/2021. Peter Benton to a 4-year term to expire 12/31/2022. And Thomas DeCino to a 5-year term to expire 12/31/2023. Need a second, right?
Hold on, we're gonna add all the others.
Add the other appointments, sir.
Can Bernie take over for that?
Sure, I mean, you want to vote on this and then have them, so it's one continuous motion?
Yes, second motion.
Okay, so we'll vote on, any discussion on, well, is there a second on these?
Yeah, Bernie second.
Okay. Any discussion? Harry?
When will this be posted on the website, or is it already?
It's not
No,
yet.
no.
Okay, after tonight.
You have
Yeah.
to vote on it first, okay.
Can't
Okay.
write that
I
fast.
can't, I'm just, hard to pass it.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
You want to take care of the next one?
All right, I'd like to make a motion to appoint the Township Solicitor of Hamburg, Reuben, Mullen, Maxwell, and Lupin, Township Manager, Erica Batorf, Zoning Officer, Tracy Franny of Cedarville Engineering Group, Building Code Officer, Frank Newhams of Arrow Consulting, Building Inspectors, Rachel, Treasurer is going to be Michelle Aurelius, Township Secretary Kathy Sheldon, Code Office Assistant Jason Barron, Assistant Secretary Ruth McVeigh, Payroll Clerk Evolution Inc., Tax Collector Berkheimer and Associates and Keystone Collections Group, Tax Hearing Officers Berkheim Associates and Keystone Collections Group, Engineer Brian Kulikowski, PE of Arrow Consulting, Traffic Engineer is Carulio Associates, Road Foreman Mark Hughes, Part-Time Park Maintenance David Gottier, Animal Control Glenn Deary, Police Chief Mike Swinninger, Emergency Management Director James Gooding, Emergency Management Board Liaison Mike Schneider, Depositories DNB First and Pliget and U.S. Bank, Voting Delegate to the State Convention Mike Schneider, Elected Auditors John Eldridge, Maria Holderness, and Jean Altman. CPA and External Auditor is Barricane, Thornton and Company. Vacancy Board Chairman Francis Ellis. Open Records Officer Eric Batdorf.
Keep going.
Yeah, I did the last
Oh,
one.
okay. Let's see, Northern Federation Representatives Manager Eric Batdorf. Bernie Corrs Board Supervisor Representative. Phoenixville Region Planning Committee members, John Jacobs, voting member, Mike Snyder, alternate voting member, manager, Eric Batdorf, George Delchinos, Planning Commission member. Agricultural Security appointments, terms, 1-year term to expire on December 31st of the listed year. Kenneth Miller Jr., 2019, Tom Olszewski, 2019, Wheeler Amon, 2019, Harry Emery, 2019, Raymond Vestorik, 2019.
Good job. Is there a second?
Are we done?
Yeah, you can
Or we don't do those? Second.
Okay. Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
You want to do number 6, Mike?
Okay. I move to approve and adopt the 2019 regular township meeting schedule as follows. Board of Supervisors meetings, January 7th and 21st, February 4th, 19th, March 4th, 18th, and 18th, April 1st and 15th, May 6th and 20th, June 3rd and 17th, July 1st and 15th, August 5th and 19th, September 3rd and 16th, October 7th and 21, November 4th and 18th, December 2nd, December 2nd and 16th.
You've got a little bit more down here.
Yeah, okay. Environmental Advisory Council, first Wednesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. January's meeting will be held the second Wednesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. Open Space Advisory Board, fourth Tuesday of the month at 5 p.m. Parks and Rec, first Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. There will be no January meeting. First meeting will be February 6, 2019 at 7:30 p.m. Planning Commission regular meeting, third Thursday of the month at 7:30 p.m. and a workshop second Thursday of the month at 7:30 p.m. Sustainability Committee, third Tuesday of the month at 7:30 and workshop second Tuesday of the month at 7:30. Historic Commission to be determined.
I'll second the motion.
On that, Rob, because that's a new committee, and the members are just, when will they, how do we get them to pick a meeting date and time, or do we pick it?
I mean, at this time, let's see what works for everybody's schedule, and then we'll announce it at the next meeting.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
Coordinate with the township staff.
But I have a question, when does this have to be advertised?
For
All these meetings?
historic, I mean, as soon as, all the ones that we have,
Yeah.
as soon as possible, and the historic commission as soon as
Should we
have.
wait until the Historic Commission? to
Yeah,
advertise?
we can work it out within the next few days.
Yeah,
Work on that?
I was gonna reach out to the newly appointed members and
Okay.
see what date and time was best.
That way we don't have to advertise twice.
Twice, right.
Yes.
Worked on.
So
I'm sorry, Sarah.
I didn't quite follow that. So if you reach out in the next couple of days and these guys haven't met, you can advertise it anyway?
No, that's a good point. We didn't vote on it.
We haven't voted on the date yet, yes, we're gonna have to wait till the next meeting
Okay.
before they vote on it.
But really, the reason I raised my hand was not that, I just got that little point of order on the way there. There is a Chester County Planning Commission meeting that would like to invite the chair of our Historic Commission to a thing on the 19th of January. So I was contacted to find out who was on the committee so they could invite somebody. And if you don't even appoint that, if you don't set the date till the 21st, they won't have met before then. So
Let me ask you,
Put it out to those members that are appointed until they they organize.
well, Erica, can you tell by this, what we have so far, what the dates would be?
could be
Based on
second,
what's available?
First, second, or fourth Thursday.
Yeah.
First
I'll have
or
to
fourth.
coordinate and see what is possible with the group.
Well, it's not really the group, because
Yeah.
we only have 2 meeting rooms.
Exactly, it never is the group, you guys
You
said it.
we have to decide what's open for
Right.
them to have the meeting.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I guess there's no way we could do that right now. You know, figure it out, where we could put them.
I love it when I agree with you, Mike.
Why don't I talk with Kathy here, and maybe by the end we can find a,
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. good.
okay,
Excellent.
all right, we can do that.
Table
Maria, you
vote.
got a question?
Oh, we're going to table the vote?
Yeah.
I would respectfully request that the board not have meetings or have committee meetings at 5 and 5:30. It really makes it quite difficult for the general public to attend, and particularly the Open Space Committee, where it handles so much of taxpayer money that it seems to me that it's a select group then that can come to a meeting. Select group being retired people. And the Open Space Fund, may I remind you, is from the earned income tax. So the people that are earning the money work till 5 o'clock, having a meeting at that time doesn't make it very suitable for residents who contribute to that fund to attend. So can we please relook at that before we set that meeting for the year?
It's on my list to talk about later. during the regular
You
meeting.
gotta do it now.
Well, before we vote, we should address that also, and vote the
I don't think
EAC
we're
and-
gonna be able to pick the dates and do it effectively on the run like this. It's tough. She's gonna have to be better off talking to some of the members of the committee too, and look at the times that are available. But there's a lot of times available. I mean,
Well, I'm looking at, we have to advertise this in X number of days, right? And then we have to redo the whole thing.
Right.
And what's it cost to advertise this? This is a big one, right?
Yeah.
It's advertised in advance, so it takes care of the year, just in,
No, no, but the cost of advertising.
It's by
this-
line.
Probably a couple.
It's by line, so it's pretty big, right? I mean, it's over 1,000, right? Do you think it's over 1,000?
Alternatively, we can set the first meeting date, allow them to elect a chair, nominate a chair, and then come back and revise the rest of the meeting dates for the historic commission for the second
That
advertisement.
sounds like a good way to go, Ralph.
you gotta speak in the
Okay.
microphone.
Okay, that makes sense. So,
We got rid of one comment.
You do, but you're,
Less, not-
Less.
we only have to do the.
just historic commission.
Okay. And
the open space.
Okay.
This is to Mike's question. Advertising everything, yes, is a big bill. But advertising a change from one meeting, it's a couple $100, as was noted. It
That's
showed up in the bills list a lot of times.
Okay, thanks. All right.
Maria,
I'm sorry, I still would like to, if the board goes ahead and approves a meeting at 5:30, then it doesn't give the committee any real purpose for changing it to a later time. And the board's responsibility is to the residents of this township, not to the members of that committee. So I think that if you approve that those meeting times now, we're screwed for another year.
No, we'll be changing the times at our next meeting.
But you've already said it's okay to be at 5 or 5:30.
Only for
And
the first meeting, probably.
Probably.
Right now, if you look at open space, it's the fourth Tuesday. So we have time to re-advertise the new times on.
I understand
open
we
space.
have time to re-advertise it. However, if the committee says, no, we want to
The
do it at
committee
this
doesn't have
time.
the say here.
it's the Board of
It's
Supervisors.
the board of supervisors that determine it.
I think that you're opening up a can of worms.
But we can't solve it right now. I'm looking at the first Wednesday, at 5:30
Could you-
for EAC, and also the first Wednesday for the Parks and Rec.
Could you
Commission.
perhaps say that no meetings can occur before 7 PM? So that we can at least set a bar to go from.
Can we
And
make a
then the
separate
committees
motion?
can work from then.
But see, we're establishing the time, so
You're establishing times, and that's a problem.
that is the problem. But we can correct the times after we figure out the dates and times that it works. Right now, we have 2 meetings on Wednesday. So if we change it to 7:30, we're gonna have 2 meetings occurring at the
We
same
have
time.
I realize that, but we do have 2
I
meeting
know.
rooms.
Yeah, all right.
I'm sorry, Sarah.
So here you are, reaching out to the new commission people to find out when they want to meet. And you're talking about changing the times of 2 long-established committees without consulting with the members of the
Yeah, we're-
committee. So I just wanted to
But
point
Sarah,
that
you
out.
should be aware that there's almost 5,000 residents that maybe most of them can't make it at 5 o'clock. So maybe we should contact those people too.
John, I understand about those people, but
No, we're not gonna
I'm just
reach-
trying to show you
We're
that
not-
it's worth consulting with the members of the committee before you do it.
I don't even know if we're gonna consult with the historic commission, actually, about times.
We
I think-
haven't even discussed it as a board so we're putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, this really should have been discussed before this meeting.
Okay, I'll save the second part for later.
Okay, so,
You see the dilemma, Rob?
I do.
So what's the text?
I mean, I think you set a historic commission meeting, the first meeting now, so they can nominate a chair, so they can attend the regional meeting.
I agree.
And then set and re-advertise all future meetings for historic commission after that first one.
Okay, so the first historic meeting will be Monday. The second Monday, right? Does that work? Think that'll work?
14th,
Right? There's
second
nothing-
Monday? That'd be
Second Monday,
fine.
right?
That would be
The,
fine.
the HRC has asked for a meeting the second Monday at 6:30 from now until through June.
Okay.
That's fine,
Second.
but that would be, they can use the other room.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, just.
Good
So,
idea.
what date would you like to put the first historic commission? Today's the 7th. Oh, I already missed it.
no, the
Right.
14th.
No, 14th it is.
I said, what did I say, the first one?
You said the
Second one,
second.
second one, okay, right, okay, 14.
You're starting to sound like me.
Yeah, I know. It's confusing. Okay, so, what do we- I read that.
We need a time.
At 7:30.
Why not 7?
All right, it's 7.
What's the motion?
Well, we already made the motion.
You just redo the historic commission part of the motion.
Okay, I move that the Historic Commission will meet on Monday, the 14th at 7 PM.
And all their meeting times and dates are the same,
And all their meeting,
as you just read.
well, there was none for them, so it's always the second
I'm talking
Monday.
about EAC, open space, everything else is remaining the same.
Oh, Again, if we want to sit here and try to figure this out, we could. We could take the EAC and move that to the fourth Monday.
Then you got the same problem.
Why?
You're doing the same thing that you want to do, that you don't want to do the historic commission, is that by picking a date and time to meet for the entire year with people you haven't even talked to.
Again, it's not,
But if we pick an arbitrary time, and just to get them rolling, they can always petition for another meeting date that suits it, and
it's
it's,
throughout the year. So it's either going to be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 7 PM, and 1, 2, or 3, or 4th week of the month. Throughout the whole year, it's always going to stay the same.
yes.
Okay, so-
Why don't we pick it?
And that's what I'm saying. So we could take the EAC and make that the fourth Monday.
No, we're talking about the historic
No, we
commission.
already did that, Monday at 7.
Yes, why do we have, I don't understand why.
Okay, Historic Commission will be the second Monday, okay, of every month at 7 PM. So that's done.
Yes.
Okay, the EAC, we could pick the fourth Monday
It's
of every
already
month.
picked.
And we could redo it now and get it right and just advertise it once. So the EAC could be the fourth Monday.
Well, why change it? Why not leave it Wednesday? What's the need? If the date is good.
Same question here.
Yeah, be careful.
Because the time isn't, because on the
But
first
then change the
Wednesday.
time, not the date.
Change the time.
Well, the time, okay, so you want to make it 7:30 and just be in a separate meeting room? We could do that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't care.
You got
I was trying to
your
find a
shut.
separate day so they could use this room, that's all.
Which,
I was picking
I'm agreeing with you
a day
again, Mike.
that they could use this room, but
Can I just say, as a newly appointed member of the Historical Commission, I would really like to avoid us stacking those two meetings at the same time, because
I agree.
there will be,
that's why I was picking the fourth Monday for one of them.
Do you mean the HC and the HRC?
Sarah,
HC
please,
and HRC.
please, Sarah, please, we got people. Here's the problem. We're trying to do that on the fly, and it's not working. So what I'm saying is, let's pick one meeting,
okay.
and if we spend
Yeah.
$200 to advertise it again, we're
Okay.
gonna
Just wanna
survive.
make sure, I just want to make sure we're,
Yeah, Kate, I
we're all
don't,
able to make it.
Okay.
Because again,
Kate, I
No,
don't think he
I think
understands
rather than
what
changing
committees you're
3
talking
committees
about.
tonight and getting all 3 wrong, let's pick one.
Okay, that's fine. So we just leave it, the Historic Commission will meet on the second Monday of the month at 7 PM.
Correct.
Okay.
I have an observation in support of what Maria said, that the open space meetings, I've attended quite a number of different meetings over the years, and the open space meetings seem to be one of the lightest attended by people that, have a direct purpose there. And, it may very well may be because people are working and they can't attend at 5 o'clock.
No,
So
we
you
agree.
think- So you think we
I
should make the
agree.
supervisors' meetings at 5 o'clock?
No, John, because I want to go and have a lot of people Wednesday watching and provide inputs.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
A quick suggestion is, if you guys could avoid putting 2 meetings at the same time, I know you have 2 meeting rooms, but like, I'm a person who might be interested in the EAC and also going to a Park and Rec meeting, and if you have them at the same time, can't do it, so if you
We're doing
can
this, it
figure it
might be
out.
a
I agree.
temporary fix.
Okay.
I just don't think we're going to get it right if we did 3
All right.
meetings.
Thank you.
We have no faith.
You're right, I don't. Sarah?
This is just very quick. What Kate was talking about was the two meetings, the HRC meeting at 6:30 and the Historic Commission meeting at 7 o'clock on the same night. And Kate, newly appointed to the HC, is a very active member of the HRC. So you will make our historians have to make a choice of which meeting to attend.
We're doing this just for one meeting this
No,
semester.
we're doing it for the whole year, might as well.
Thanks, Mike.
If subject to change, we're making it for the
It
year,
can be
but
revised
subject to
if you need.
change.
Yeah, it could be revised. For right now, it's the second Monday at 7 PM.
Man,
We need a second on the change.
You need a second, I need a second on the whole motion.
I'll second. We need a
So
third on.
three of them, I think.
Chair, you don't have to talk to me for the rest of the year, that's fine. I
We have
still,
witnesses to that.
yes, okay, so, and we can get the worst of this, it's okay. If you are approving a time that we're asking that doesn't work, I don't see why you would approve it for a year and then leave it up to the committee to make the change when the committee has been resistant to move this meeting.
No, we're only doing the historic commission.
I know, you are doing
I wanted to do
things.
the rest of them, yes,
I understand, so.
but we're not now. Now
We
we're
are
just doing the
not?
historic commission.
You gotta follow the program, lady.
It's
Yeah, I'll
confusing.
try. Darn, we can't get the worst.
We're just doing one. Be a lawyer. Erica, will you make sure this is done right tomorrow?
I'm taking my notes. I'm taking my notes.
Kathy's talking.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
We have a motion. Any other comments? Wow.
We need a second first.
well, we had a second. John seconded.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, where are we? Number 99, I think. Number 7, Bernie, you're up.
7.
I make a motion to approve and set the amount of the treasurer's bond in the amount of $2 million.
I second, I'm sorry.
Comments from the audience? John?
Isn't there $4 or $6 million there? But I think the bond sometimes is 5 times its face value. But,
No, there's a...
or the
there's
bond
a-
should be equal to what you have access to.
No, but it is just evaluated based on, the township's finances and the background of the treasurer. It's sufficient.
You think we should
You
raise
say,
it?
trust me.
You don't trust people in business. The background of the treasurer is irrelevant in business.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none? Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 8, Mike.
I move to adopt resolution 1-2019 establishing emergency service providers for West Vincent Township.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Comments from the audience? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Bernie, you're up.
I make a motion to adopt resolution
Aren't you going to
2-2019.
tell us who the providers are?
I'm sorry, Sarah. Bernie was speaking.
Number 8, who are those emergency services providers you just established? Or is it just the map?
You gotta go to the, so everybody else can hear you.
It's Ludwig's Corner Fire Company, Kiverton Fire
I
Company,
couldn't
Ridge
hear.
Fire Company.
Thank you, Mike.
Jim Goody
That's it.
is designated an emergency management
No,
coordinator.
she was talking about question
Number 8.
8, the one we just finished.
Yeah,
And the
so
resolution.
done.
No,
Thanks, Bernie.
No, I'm sorry, Bernie, you're
That's all
right.
right. Yeah. And, let's see,
Maybe you're on.
contact
Number
persons to
9.
be Erica, Township Manager for Emergency
Wait.
Services.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, so on to number 9.
Yes.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2-2019, establishing the township manager's compensation at $112,320.00.
Second?
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 10, Mike.
I move that the township approve resolution 3-2019 in the form presented establishing the mileage reimbursement of 58 cents per mile following the federal guidelines of 2019.
I'll second the motion.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 11, Bernie.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 4-2019 in the form presented appointing Bardacane Thornton Company, 2002 Bancroft Building, Wilmington, Delaware, a firm of certified accountants to replace the elected auditors in accordance with Section 319 of the Second Class Township Code 53 PSSS 10-917.
Second.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. I move to adopt Resolution 5-2019, West Vincent Township fee schedule for 2019 in the form submitted at the reorganization meeting, consisting of 7 pages, including sections for residential new construction, commercial new construction, general permits, fire code, official fees, board of appeals fees, board of supervisor fees, township printing materials, miscellaneous fees, subdivision land development fees, engineering and legal fees, land planner and traffic engineer fees, stormwater ordinance and management fees, with an electrical fee schedule attached, totaling 12 pages.
I'll second the motion.
Erica, were there any substantial changes to the fee schedule?
The schedule for Arrow and their fees, as well as Cedarville for zoning and for our solicitor's office have been updated. for
Have they changed
the
from last
schedule.
year?
Did they go down?
The solicitor's office went up by $5 an hour from $185 to $190 per hour. For our building code official, that has stayed the same through Arrow, and that has a range between $85 an hour to $115 an hour for plan review. For our zoning officer, that went from $80 an hour to $82.50 an hour. Oh, and township engineer has stayed the same at $110 an hour.
Thank you. Any
Sure.
comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 13.
I make a motion to adopt Resolution 6-2019, the reappointment of Marilyn Hemstreet to the Zoning Hearing Board for a 5-year term to expire 12/31/2023.
Second.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
One second. There's a hearing, that was in the beginning. Oh,
Yeah.
Erica, you'll make sure that everybody on the applicant list...
Notified?
Notified, thank you.
Got it.
And that ends the reorganization part of the meeting. We will start a regular board meeting at this point. So the first thing on my list is to approve the minutes from the December 17th, 2018.
I move to approve the minutes of December 17th, 2018.
I'll second the motion.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 15.
I make a motion to approve the bills list in the amount of $180,339.91.
Now you jumped the gun on John there. He always reads the
And,
township and reimbursement.
They're not in my- There it is.
I'll second it anyway, let him read it.
The township bills list is $177,806.09. The reimbursable bills list is $2,121.92. The subdivision utility plant bills list is $411.90. All three lists total $180,339.91. Any comments from the audience on the bills list? Yes, Brian.
On the bills list, there's a whole bunch of real estate refunds to various people. And I asked the staff some questions earlier on about this, and they gave me some responses, and I really appreciated that. But the question that I've got now at this point is that we've got so many of these. You know, is something being done wrong in the initial appraisals? And I know West Vincent doesn't do these, Chester County does these.
Well, the individual does this.
The initial appraisal is not done by
Oh, the
the
initial one,
by
right.
the individual. You know, is, someone, is Chester County doing something wrong in the first place? And the other thing is Chester County kind of overdoing it a little bit And if the individual, the property owner, doesn't question it, hey, it's a win for the county, the township, and the school district.
It is.
You know, is there some bias in it? You know,
Basically selling price in the beginning.
Yeah, so I don't know the last time Chester County did a countywide assessment, because that may be why the original assessed values are up, and people are going in for reassessments.
well, these are for new properties.
New construction, or,
Yeah,
There's
mostly
two
construction.
areas, it seems to be, Weatherstone is one, and the other one is the Bruner property. Bruner properties are all brand new. Weatherstone, I'm not sure whether they did a countywide before that or not, I just don't know. And also, there's coming from these two, you know, groupings, I suspect some entity has approached them saying, you know, listen, we'll go and appeal your valuations, and, you know, we'll split the difference the first time around or something like that.
yeah, I mean, just looking at the bills, I can't really determine whether or not there's a pattern. There's definitely a lot of them, but we could reach out to the chief county assessor and see if they're seeing anything countywide, or if it's just these specific areas.
I think it's worth a question to go and, you know, why are we having it, you know, in these two areas? It seems like something's going on. Is it just a random pattern, or is there really something there?
Are we seeing it on Pulte also?
Yeah, that's.
The word got out.
A lot of times too is, you'll see people get mailers where people say your taxes may be too high, we'll take a look at it, and we do it on a contingent basis. So
Yeah.
that could be what's going on also.
I've been getting those mailings, but a lot of them are Eagle Farms, and those prices did take a dip, and they're not back up. And a whole lot of these people are friends, so the word got down the street, and so I think it's just a sign of the economic times, and probably not worth investigating solicitors' money, but thanks, if you need it.
Thank you. So are you gonna look into that for Brian?
That's fine. No, I think it is, it's something we are seeing, so
Yeah.
we'll monitor it.
It's not in our control.
It's not, but, you know, it is a pattern, it's part of our revenue base too. so.
Any other questions on the bills list? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 16.
I move to approve the subdivision extension request for 16 years LLC to May 31st, 2019.
I'll second the motion.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Make a motion to approve the subdivision extension agreement for 1024 Pottstown Pike Land Development until April 1st of 2019.
Second.
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
I move to approve the subdivision extension agreement for the Maxwell Minor subdivision until April 17th, 2019.
I'll second the motion.
Any comments on this one from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. So I'll make a motion to approve payment recommendation number 2 to Veteran Construction Utility Services for the French Creek Arch Culvert Replacement in the amount of $84,078.12.
Second.
Any comments from the audience?
Did you skip 19?
Just get 19, you just need to acknowledge receipt.
Oh, did I skip it?
Yeah, you can move forward with the vote on 20 and then go back.
We'll come back.
I didn't see a motion.
Any questions?
I already asked. Any questions on this release of payment number 2?
Yeah, I've just a statement in that I noticed that the job is going to be completed.
This
This week,
Thursday, yes, I have the final punch list inspection, and following that meeting, we're gonna get those barricades moved and have an open room.
Okay, congratulations.
Anybody care to guess what the over and under is for getting that done on that
Some letter comes from, sorry.
Oh, it's fine, perfectly fine and reasonable. Yeah, not
day? Really,
reasonable.
I don't know if we learned anything to avoid such a long delay, but that was just crazy.
Was it 2 years?
So,
2.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. There's no motion here for the next one.
Yeah, you can just acknowledge
Yeah,
receipt.
acknowledge. that we have a township manager severance agreement.
Rob, did you draft this?
Same as last time.
I didn't personally.
It's the same as last year, except for, I think, 2 years.
2 years.
Instead of 1 year.
And we did that at advice of Joe McGrory to make it more in sync with the election process?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
What
Well, there's
about,
no motion.
Oh.
It's just acknowledgement.
Okay.
any questions from the audience? Sarah?
2 years for what? And what do you mean in sync with the election process?
No, this should be a motion.
It should be.
Yes,
listed,
it's-
doesn't it?
Yeah, 19 is the acknowledgement. We skipped
Correct.
19.
Oh, that was Jane Lane.
Yeah, this is a
Correct.
motion to approve township manager.
Yeah,
severance
okay.
agreement.
I'm going to redo that then. I move to approve the township manager severance agreement.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Eric, could you give a quick synopsis of this settlement agreement?
Oh, I
Sorry,
sure can.
Severance agreement.
Sure, yeah, it's a severance agreement. So, the agreement puts forth certain terms, in my, arrangement with the township, my terms of employment. The agreement is on our website, and it'll be updated with the revision that has been made, and we'll also post that as well. But it just enumerates all those terms, and, if I should resign, or if I should be leaving with cause, or all of those various issues, it allows for this agreement to be in place for 2 years and provide compensation, some benefit coverage in the case
Wow.
that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm just waiting for you to finish.
Oh, okay. In the case that it would be my decision to leave, so, or not,
No.
the decision of the boards, I'm sorry,
If
to
it's a
leave.
decision of
Yes,
the board,
correct,
severance
yes.
kicks in. If it's
Yes.
your decision or cause,
Yes,
it
correct,
doesn't exist.
yes.
Did that answer your question, John?
Yes. But did you say, what about 2 years severance? I mean,
The
Oh,
term,
no.
the term of the agreement is 2 years instead of a
Pardon?
one, it's a 2-year contract instead of a 1-year severance contract.
Right.
It doesn't have anything to do with the number of payments.
No, it's
just
last
the
year,
contract.
yeah.
Last year, they gave for 1 year. This year, it's 2 years.
So we don't have to
But-
renegotiate it every year. It's-
What's it got
Okay,
to
but
do
it's
with-
not, it's a contract, not a severance.
Yes,
It's
it's a
in the
severance.
event of severance, yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
It's sort of misnamed in my opinion.
So
It only applies to severance, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already asked this one on the microphone just a minute ago. What's it got to do with the election cycle?
Well,
There's an election every 2 years
Yes?
for supervisor.
Uh-huh.
It just
So-
coincides with that.
Ask Jim.
Why?
Jim didn't have a severance agreement.
Yeah, but you did,
No.
sort of. I guess.
He didn't have one in writing, but we took care of him anyway. Any other comments on this? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we have to go back on one?
Yeah.
19, you just need to acknowledge receipt of a subdivision application.
I'll just do this with that.
Go ahead.
Oh. I acknowledge the receipt of 1009 Jenny Lane revised subdivision, lot line change.
I'll second the motion.
Any
Or I'll
comments?
second the,
So acknowledged.
so,
Any comments? All those in favor? We're acknowledging it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that ends that part of the meeting now. The next part is public comment on non-agenda items. John?
The November financial statements didn't get posted till didn't get put up until January. And,
Talk to the manager. I don't know what the hell she was doing, John.
well, in her absence, I think Michelle put them up. And so I don't know what, I won't talk to her either. But, and I do look at them, and I send Erica, knowing she came back, a list of issues with the November statements. And I think people should pay attention to them.
Yep,
Uh,
I agree.
And it just seems like they get they don't get their due by being that late. And you certainly, I don't comment on them in a timely manner because they're late. So-
Well, how have they been running? I thought she was getting them done by,
Yeah.
between the 15th and
Yeah,
20th.
she's been getting them done.
Very
I think
rarely-
they did, it's posted on the website,
The
for that
day of
last
the
month.
meeting, the day
It's too much work.
of the second meeting, and then they give a treasurer's report, you can't comment on the treasurer's
Right,
report
right.
because you get, it's not timely.
That's a good,
But the 15th is a
Yeah,
common
it is.
cutoff
It
for
certainly
a
is.
financial report, 2 weeks after the close.
Yeah,
Now, if our meetings happened on the 16th, yeah, that would suck.
yeah. I understand, and I value the commentary, and I think the treasurer's really been trying to put that information out, get it done. And just to put out a quality product, she's gotta get that all reconciled and take all those dates into account. So she's really working on it, we're working on it together.
I just want to say, and I like you, John,
But,
I just get tired of getting beat up on something that should be fixable.
It's, I mean, I really believe that we're putting out a quality product.
If we can
Yeah.
adhere to the 15th, we are doing what we should be
Oh,
doing.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, our meetings may end up on the 15th, 16th, and then it's short notice, of course, but the 15th is a fair date to have financial statements out. Now, if it's not until, a November statement's not until January, well, that's late.
It was put out, I think they forgot, maybe it just didn't get on the website. So, I know it was done.
okay, but to me also, it shouldn't be that difficult. It's a cash-based statement, so you're not accruing insurance and depreciation and all this stuff. And you're looking at your bank statement and you're making a statement. And it's not happening. I think somebody's spending a lot of time, because one time in our existence, we set up checking account after checking account after checking account. And that ought to be cleared up, and, because it's a problem.
It is, and I think you're gonna find that it's gonna be easier to get these statements out earlier, because we have gotten rid of a bunch of accounts that you had to reconcile. I mean, there's what, when I was doing it, I think there was like 12 or 14 bank accounts you had to balance. It's time consuming and a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But now we've gotten that down to like 3 or 4 accounts, so it shouldn't be so bad. It should free up some time, in other words.
John, all I can tell you is, keep it up.
The next problem, I think, the current month added to prior year-to-date should equal the current year-to-date, and it often doesn't.
Okay, well, that's also another problem. I have a pet peeve with that one too. On QuickBooks, the months are open. They don't get closed.
Well, that's true.
Okay, so
You
then
can
what-
close them, you can.
You can close them, and in my opinion, they should be closed.
They should
But
be.
it's always been done where it's left open until the year end. But what happens with that, if you leave them open, that means you can go back and change something. A prior month, their statements are already out, so then you look at the next statement, and, wait a minute, it's not making any sense, I don't see a journal entry making the change. So that's what you're seeing,
Yeah.
because that's what I saw.
I understand.
And, that should be a policy change for us, I think.
Yes,
to close.
particularly if you do it in January and change December, you've got a bigger problem.
Yes, you do.
I mean, yeah.
Even though it's
Tax
getting
problem.
audited, but still, for the statements that are put out, it won't make sense to people. It'll look like something funny's going on when they don't match up to the previous month.
Can you
Okay.
make that, do you understand?
Oh, yeah, we've been
Okay.
working on these.
Okay, because that sounds like an easy fix.
I didn't know that.
It should be an easy fix, you just close it on the 30th or whatever date is appropriate. I'm not.
Month-end closing, but you have to finalize it, so that way you can't go back and change anything.
I think QuickBooks will print it out the next day. If it's a tax-based statement, the checks you've written, if you haven't written the checks, it doesn't matter. It should be almost on the first day of the month you can get them.
Well, except for you have to do the reconcile. You have to wait for the bank statements to come in and reconcile. That's where the time is, I think, ending up being the cause of the lateness.
George,
Well, welcome back.
Thanks, Jordan.
So in April, we had a meeting, an open space meeting with the supervisors, and we talked about putting together a list of all preserved properties in the township.
And as far as I know, there's only a map. And how did the map get generated if there's not a list? It's a automated, the map was generated automatically, so there's a list somewhere, there's a disconnect.
Well, as far as the total preserved properties that they had,
So they have a, there's
Yeah.
a map that somebody sent me, you might have sent it to me.
yeah,
And it has all the parcels, and they're shaded where they're preserved. But I was told there's no list, there's just a map,
there's a
and
list.
that doesn't make sense.
Well, there has to be a list with parcel
That's-
numbers,
yeah,
otherwise you
there's
can't
exactly.
have
That's what it just said.
Yeah.
So can I get that?
I don't think it's a filtered list.
What is that?
What do you mean filter? It has to be filtered, otherwise you couldn't create the map.
I'll check it with her.
Thank you.
Maria, are we going home together tonight?
Yeah, all right. But question on John's question was, would it be possible, because I agree that when you get those numbers and then you get a treasurer's report, you kind of want some time to get them. Couldn't we back up the treasurer's report to the first meeting of the following months so that it's kind of
That would be the
coming
safest
backward?
thing to do.
I
Then-
understand what you're saying.
Yeah, because you can't, and I agree
Yeah.
that you can't really get it out before the 15th because bank statements, by the time they come and
Right.
you're dealing with that.
There's day-to-day business, I'm not making any excuses,
Exactly.
trust me. And I
And
will
then
look
there's
at it and
weekends, and
quality
there's,
control
yeah.
it, for sure, so that is the back and forth. And it's just about putting out a quality
It just,
product.
I think that she's doing such a great job that it would almost be better to have that treasurer's report a month in arrears.
I agree, I
Yeah.
So
understand
you
with
can
that.
then
Yeah,
all
why don't we?
speak very intelligently, people can really have had a
I
chance
agree.
to read it, look at it and understand.
It'll always be on the first,
What?
meeting the month after.
Talking about
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I think that, because I mean, she can't do any better
Just the
depending on what's
manager's
coming
If we
in.
want the best
For the
from
treasurer's report.
the best product, we just want to put, all the resources we can into doing that right. And, when you're trying to get something up by a deadline, we want to do the best we can, but I understand because it's just, it's real issues that you want to come in and do this right.
Yeah, this would solve the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still have to go back, that there were many years we didn't get them at all.
And we can still
got one
post them
year.
on the 15th or 18th or whatever,
that's
but at least we won't be
perfectly fine.
discussing it until the
Correct.
next meeting,
It's
where everybody had a
immediate.
chance to
I
review it.
understand.
Yeah.
Does that work for you, John?
I don't think it gives you timely answers to your financial issues, but I don't think people pay close attention to them anyway.
Well, as long as we have you
But-
looking at it.
What?
As long as we have you looking at it.
Yeah, one or two.
But one of the things, you mentioned, your bank statements don't come till the 10th, but any place I've been, you go get them online on the 1st. You start working, you pay attention that they're not out of balance, and you shouldn't be mistakes. There shouldn't, with QuickBooks, they should reconcile right away. But anyway,
Well, I think that's just going to be, our opinion.
You still have to mark them, whether they're cleared or not.
that's what?
You still have to mark them whether they're cleared or not. It's not integrated with the bank. You get the statement, you bring up QuickBooks, then you have to check them off.
Yes.
Yeah. And with the sewer accounts, that was a lot of checks.
But there is
Yes.
some sewer accounts now.
Now there isn't, so I'm thinking it's going to correct itself. It's not going to be a major issue, I don't think.
Okay, well, that was only number one. Number two, at the last meeting, there was a question that came from the floor, questioning signs from the Fall Festival for $280 that was spent. And they indicated that we'd already spent $600 on signage, so I just would like to clarify from Parks and Rec that we didn't spend $600 on signage. We spent $600 on food, decorations, prizes, blah, 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 all the other things. And the signs that we spent was I think $260 or $280. It was for 18 signs. There were 9 signs on St. Matthew's Road, 9 signs on Route 401, and they are reusable. So to clarify that, but then also to just bring it to the board's attention and to remind the public again that the Fall Festival was covered, the expense of that was covered from the festival in the park sponsorship money and the fundraising that we did for that. And in fact, we turned a profit, we gave money back to the township as opposed to costing taxpayers any dollars. So I'd just like to make that all clear.
How much?
I'm thinking that it was like $3,000. I kind of lost track of what it was. But we went into the Fall Festival with like a $4,500 positive variance, and then we spent like $1,000. So it's going to be somewhere in that range.
It wasn't that bad, so don't leave without me.
Well, the other question is, like, did we really have a discussion as to what direction we're gonna ask the committees to have on times of meetings? Because there was a lot of stuff, but I didn't really hear anything that happened.
Erica's gonna look at it and hopefully get it done and out tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But what's going to be advertised is what we approved tonight, and then we're going to, next meeting, make a revision to whatever she comes up with.
Is my direction to ensure that no meeting occurs earlier than 7 PM?
I think that should be fair.
Let's discuss.
That's what I
we
wanted
should
to,
discuss
we
it.
hadn't really had that
That's
discussion to
still
give her any
mine.
direction, so.
That's a good point.
So I just,
Should we have that discussion now then?
Well, actually, before somebody brought it up, it was on my list to discuss tonight because I've heard that before. And I work an hour away, and if I work till 5, I'm not getting here till 6 o'clock. Which is probably why they put the times at 5 o'clock.
To keep you from coming, that's.
For you.
Anyway, so I just think most people can't, no, I shouldn't say that. A lot of working people with families can't make an earlier meeting. So at least this gives them an opportunity. It's just not the members, it's the public.
sure.
Well, it's mainly the public, actually.
I would go for 7 o'clock, and
I'm fine with 7, 7:30 doesn't matter.
in the audience,
Thank you.
sir. No, let's get it done tonight.
Well, I'm sure you remember that you asked the Open Space Committee to consider this during 2018. And they did discuss it and decided that the 5 o'clock meeting fit the committee. Now, I understand about wanting more people to be able to come, but if you'll notice at the EAC or Parks and Rec or whatever, often it is Sarah and Brian there at 7 or 7:30 at night. Retirees staying up late, So I'm not sure that, and about people with kids, I know that one person on the Open Space Committee appreciates having the 5 o'clock because then she can get home, do dinner and homework and have all of that as a unity and get the kids to bed. And so that committee did on your request discuss it previously.
Thank you for that.
The issue is, it's a public meeting. It should be done at a time when the public can attend. The majority of the public can attend.
I understand
Not
that.
the few. So I think that's where I would stand. Maybe it's not the best time for the committee or some of the committee members, but it is a better time for the public. If it's not a public, if it's a workshop, well, I guess even workshops are public, right?
Just as another point, we had over 14 applicants for the EAC committee, so if someone can't make it at 5, I'm sure we can find somebody that can make it at 7.
The open space or the EAC?
Open Space Group. I might be confused.
EAC.
Was it the EAC?
Both of them are open space and EAC are only 5:30.
No. How many applicants for those committee? One of them had 14.
Yeah.
Anyway, your point is taken. I agree with Mike. It's the matter of being open to the public, and you can't make it at 5 o'clock if you work till 5.
I understand that. So, but they're not both now at 5:30. One's at 5 and one's at 5:30.
You're right, okay.
But why not standardize on 7:30 like your other meetings?
This meeting started at 7, did it not?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, you and
We're-
the zoning hearing.
I just
board.
picked a time, 7
Okay.
o'clock. Do you think it should be 7:30?
That would be a suggestion, yes.
No, but you have an opinion, or you
I
have
have a
an opinion.
suggestion, that
What's
it
that?
be 7:30. For those people who'd like to have dinner with their families.
You said earlier than 7.
We actually established the historic at 7, but, we can change that. Yeah, I guess you could reach out to the committee, say 7, 7:30. I'll take your pick.
Well, then you,
I think we've got to pick a date and stick to it. If there's times that start at 7:30 and times that start at 7, it doesn't matter to me, so pick one.
Okay. Okay. We
What
can-
is it, 7 or 7:30?
No, I think we have to take a look at this schedule.
Well, she does, she has to figure out the
Set
dates.
right now.
Yeah.
so
set at
then you
7.
would re-advertising all
We
of
have
those
it.
times.
Yeah, the 3 committees would have to be re-advertised. if
Well,
we
I
change them.
think some you could tell, the planning commission often has trouble with people coming in at the last minute because they're coming in off the highway, so moving that up to 7 probably is not a good idea.
Right, no, we're not gonna change any of the other ones. It's just the EAC, open space, historic is set at 7, but if
So
they
it's-
find that 7:30 is better.
It's just the 5:30 ones you're worried
Yeah.
about. Okay. I'm just going to stand here, it's Peter's turn.
Oh, I have a very simple one. With Bryn Covered trails being open, when do we expect township trails?
Anybody have-
Yes.
Go
Okay.
for it.
Sure. So by our conservation easement, we were working with Natural Lands prior to their opening. They had, and I was really glad to see that they got that done for the first of the year. We have, when they notify us in writing, 4 months to complete our connection to their preserve. And also have the park open to some degree. So we're gonna be working through that. I will be touching base to get an update from them on what they've accomplished, and we'll be getting our ducks in a row on what we'll be doing as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Just a comment, I know a lot of you have already taken a walk on the Bryn Coed Trail. They've really done a good job. Just take boots with you, or an extra change of shoes so you don't get your car dirty.
It's muddy.
So I'd just like to clarify what Erica said, is that we now have till the 30th of April to do our soft opening, and
In fact, they have not notified us in writing, apart from the conservation easement,
which
that they're
required doing
ready
it
for us,
last
correct?
week.
Yeah.
Right.
So
When they
we have
notify
some
us, we have
time.
4 months.
That's correct, that's true, yeah.
Oh, so we have
We'd
a-
like to do it soon.
So we have a verbal commitment that they're not holding us to our contract.
It's 4 months.
That is our contract.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there was, because I thought there'd been talk that there would be the soft opening of the township by
I
the
think
end
that's
of the
what
year.
we'd like, yeah, we would like to get it going, but that's what we have by contract.
Oh, okay.
We have sufficient time to get it done.
Okay, good.
You,
You have more?
do you have more?
Yeah, but I was just commenting.
Why not
on
just get it
Peter.
done so somebody else can use the microphone?
Nobody wants this one, it's just, okay, what's the status of the codification?
Our solicitor's office is working on that and finishing it up.
I don't know, I need an update from Steve English in my office who's working on it.
No estimates now?
I have to talk to him, I haven't talked to him.
Could you send it to Erica for the
Sure
next
will.
meeting?
Yeah, I'll talk to
That'd be great, thank you.
And how goes the progress on hiring a roadmaster?
We're starting to interview tomorrow.
Cool. So-
I don't know whether I'd call it cool, but it's first step anyway.
And I think it's very exciting that you got 14 applicants for one of the committees, but I was trying to take notes, and I should have been co-oping with Harriet, but I only heard 2 appointments to the Sustainability Committee, and I thought there were 3.
There's a vacancy.
And
on
so
that
you
one.
have 14 people on one of the committees, but you couldn't fill the last
No, people
vacancy
that
on
wanted
the
to be
other.
on the committee, so we didn't have anybody wanting to be on the sustainability to fill that one vacancy. We're still looking for one person.
Just to clarify, it was the Open Space Committee, and then there was 13 applicants.
Thank you. That's cool. Maybe one of those 13 would be interested in the
Maybe.
sustain, but you,
We can
always
appoint them
appoint
anytime, next meeting,
It doesn't
if we
mean,
find
it
somebody.
doesn't mean the committee has to go shorthanded
but,
forever.
and you know they've been shorthanded since September.
The sustainability?
For this one opening,
Oh, for that one opening, yes,
For-
they have plenty of
for
members.
Sam's unexpired term,
Right.
which is what you haven't filled now.
Right.
So it's not like,
But they have
could
plenty
do
in
it
the, they
anytime.
have plenty in the committee.
We're going to award it to the person that didn't apply. Now we're filled. Brian?
I'm gonna go back to the treasurer's report information, the financial information of the township. I can remember in times gone past when we had a statement of what the accounts were, and as far as anybody in the public knew, they fell out of the sky. And I've seen steady improvement with more information coming out. And this year, we've had a new treasurer come through. We had the sale of the sewage plant that always been battling on through. And what I'm not seeing or not hearing from the staff is, well, this is the best that it can be. They're working to try to go and make it better and get more information and try to solve problems. And, people that are making progress on it, is a good thing. And one of the bad things about having more information is you can look at it and say, well, there's a problem here, why wasn't it caught? So, hey, I think we're making progress, and I'm pleased in the direction that it's going.
Do you have a mouse or cookie that you want to pray?
Thank you. I'll be good, I won't comment. Any other comments on non-agenda items?
I move to adjourn.
Well, that was good.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Should I make that motion? Sending that resolution to Chicago.
Should have wagered the governor's
The
hat.
things I forgot to
The
mention.
governor's had a wager on the game.
It's 4,005,000, 4,500,000.
I didn't know Chicago, I thought it was like $200.
Now it's 4,000,000. It's coming, that number, looks like it's obvious that somebody just plugging it in when they're doing the thing. And if somebody doing all amounts, sure. But it just.
I'm all about getting it right, John.
It gives the credibility.
A problem. I was 5 minutes over, so I said we were done by 8.
Joe, do you meet him tomorrow?
We almost lost me with the,
Yes. I'm sort of open, I didn't say I'm available anytime, but I figure the head of the committee should say.
I understand.
For the ninth or the, I'm sort of available.
that's when they did all the damage. So that's the quote-unquote workshop business.
Hey, John, remember the days when you used to ask the town for all sorts of information? And they let you, remember that?
Having the treasurer do her report, in plenty of time to get through financial stuff. This makes sense.
That makes sense.
We're giving 2 more weeks to have the financial stuff, basically. Well, we should still try to shoot for 15 to 20.
Have them out on the 15th.
Don't tell Joe we appreciate that.
Oh, you're gonna be at the 21st meeting? You didn't know it.
I guess we're going to see.
St. Andrews to try to get speakers. Later, and then the treasurer died. And then you don't have obituaries. They hired a treasurer. Fair enough.
We're not doing
You
it.
care.
What's that?
You live next door, you care.
Yeah, but it's not, has a much bigger impact.
No, that's not my side. You know, that's not my side. That's not my side. I'm in your face, but I'm not gonna do it.
You have to keep them. Yes. They didn't want to.